another band. All the Mars and cars now, whichever get up. I start my scarred with a sweet one bliss. Someone flips me a bag baggy. Say, oh, it's another one. It's another one, yeah. It's a full strand, yeah. Oh, it's another one. It's another one, yeah.
Good evening, guys. Welcome to another episode of Crossroads in Boxing, episode 12 to be correct. You're joined tonight by me as per CJ Spear and my main man, Ez.
Yep, Eric ERF here again.
Eric ERF here again. Thank you for tuning in as always, guys. Before we get started, just jump into a quick commercial for D-Rock Clothing, our sponsor.
We will do once I have it, and we are there. Yep, and we're back. I'm good. How are you? How's your week been? It's been a hectic week.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a manic week, mate. Lots of ups and downs. And there's been lots of crazy stuff going on in the boxing world as per, mate, which you can touch on tonight. I hope you've had a good week, mate. How are you?
Well, I've got, you know what, my week hasn't been bad, but it just got better with that comment.
Right.
It just got better. But no, just work this week, just busy at work this week, so not a great deal this week. Just planning for like Mother's Day and stuff this weekend, so you know what it's like.
Shout out to mothers.
Yes, yeah, well, God, it's just hectic Mother's Day. I swear it's hectic. It's just long, innit? Because you've got no choice. You've got no choice, but you've got to do stuff. It's just long.
You're so in trouble if something doesn't happen for Mother's Day, mate.
It's all planned and ready to go. It's planned and ready to go, so I'm good. We'll start off with tonight. I think it's only right we start off with a couple of high profile passing away in the boxing world. The first one we have I see George Foreman passing away. Absolute unbelievable fighter. What can you not say about this guy, to be honest with you? What a career he had, both careers. Even coming back and winning a world title again at his age. I mentioned it, funny figures, I mentioned it at work. I was like, George Foreman died, didn't it? First things I was like, oh, him who made the grill. And I was like, how everything this man has done, but still, he has a legacy no matter what. Big respects to him and what he did. Condolences to his family. And the boxing world, he definitely gave us some great fights, and he will be sorely missed. I don't know who can replicate being that age and winning a world title again.
No, and it might never be done. That's the thing.
Exactly.
And just to put it on, if people don't know, out of 76 wins, 68 of those wins were by knockout. 68 wins by knockout. That is some absolute crazy, devastating power. Unreal. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
It is. It's seeing someone do something like that. It's mad. It is crazy. At the level he was doing it at as well. For me is I don't know if you can repeat it. I don't think it can be repeated.
No.
Also, there is one more. We do have we did lose Colin Hart as well, British boxing journalist. He would have covered Foreman and all those guys. I just wanted to give a shout out and just give my condolences to his family as well.
Absolutely.
Now we're talking about big figures in boxing. Really, he was a massive one. He was a massive one in the British scene, especially. I'm not sure how many Americans will know much about him.
One of the
probably do.
journalists that's ever been, isn't he?
But exactly that. So yeah, I just want to say my condolences to Colin Hart and his family as well. Before we get on to everything.
Ready to go, baby.
All right, now all the niceties are over. We'll go with the title today is the British scene, the British boxing scene, because so much is going on with Turkey and the world level. Let's say the world level. There's so much going on the world level, and I just want to touch on the British scene and the British fighters and who's next up. Who are the guys we're looking at? Who are the girls we're looking at to be the next? I don't want to use the word superstar because I feel like Americans look for superstars. We look for, the next person who can have a legendary career, who can do stuff in the sport from the ground up, and get that following, get the British public behind them. There's a few to touch on. We have is there anybody you want to touch on before we go on to anyone's that I've got?
No, obviously that little list at the start, we'll stick to it. I think we can branch off at times anyway, can't we? Names lead to names, don't they?
Yeah.
Is top of your list still Moses Atoma?
Moses Atoma is at the top of the list simply because he has to be. He really does have to be. We're talking heavyweights at the end of the day. When you talk in the heavyweight division, you're always looking for that next one. You're always looking for that next one. Who's going to be that one to take the mantle, to take over? And I think it could well be Moses Atoma. I really do think it could be him. He's a fighter at his young age, showing so much promise. The power is there. The opponents aren't quite there yet. I will say that. The opponents aren't quite there yet, but he is showing power. He is showing maturity as well.
Absolutely. We touched on him a few times, haven't we? It makes me laugh because I know you know what I'm going to say. So much hype behind Moses Atoma. I haven't quite yet got on board that train yet. That's not to slag him off, or to say I don't think he's going to be something special, because he is. He clearly is. He already is something special. Again, it's just getting the opponents in. You've got to nurture up and coming fighters. We've both seen a lot of fighters that have been pushed too quickly and they get a quick fall down, or fighters that are held back, and you see the record of 17, 18 and 0 and you think, wow, and you look through and most journeymen haven't got a winning record on there. So yeah, I'd just like to see Moses step up a bit now. He's definitely ready.
Yeah, who would you like to see him fight? Who is that one fight you need? You feel like you need once you see this fight, Rico's. You need to know this is Moses Atoma is Rico's guy. So yeah, who is that opponent you think that that will get you on that train? That will get you on that train.
The name or the word you're looking for is like a gatekeeper, isn't it? I think now. And then what? Sorry, I picked my name. Atoma is very much like high risk, low reward at the minute. I don't know if you'd agree with that. We're going to get fringe world level who's going to take that risk, because they all know it's a risk. They all know it can ban for the reward of what there is none at the minute. What do we go for? Maybe someone like Zhang. Someone like Zhang take him on.
Zhang, this early on, even.
Why not? Hey, listen, you put your money where your mouth is. You and Rico backing him.
No, this is the thing though. As much as Moses Toma, we'll just get a picture up for him. There he is. I do believe he has the platform, he has the ability to be that one guy that does reach the top. But for me, sometimes you can go too early.
Yeah, absolutely.
For the likes of, AJ, he fought Dillian White. He had that fight, that Dillian White fight, to say, you know what? Okay, we can throw you in, but we've got Charles Martin for you after that. Charles Martin didn't really do anything. He got a title because the opponent busted the knee. So
hey, can you upload the comments? We've got comments.
Yes, we'll get the comments in. One second. Let's start from the top.
What we got?
Right. Trey says, big up to my Yorkshire brothers. Big up, Trey.
Big up.
We've got your mum. I'll let you go with that one.
I've had a few drinks, but I love you guys. CJ's mum here.
We appreciate you. Rico says we don't even want you on the train, bro. Yeah, you're not allowed to support Atoma now. He just beat an unbeaten Aussie who was AJ's sparring partner.
Don't you dare! Don't you got my king special? I'm not having that. Away with you.
Big up to Mr. Neutral, Stevie, my nemesis, my debate. I don't know what to call him. Debate partner, not just my nemesis, to be honest with you. Me and Stevie go at it for fun, and it's always entertaining. Stevie says Atoma, Wardley and Dubois are going to be there for years. That's a good shout. Wardley, he is on the list. I have got him there. He is one I'm going to touch on as well. I actually forgot about that. Thanks, Neutral. What did Raz said? Raz said, I don't see what's wrong with going for Hooney, WBO 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just Hooney. I like that fight. I do like that fight. Rico says Moses will conquer China and KO China.
Are you ready for an unpopular opinion?
No, because I still like the Justice Hooney fight. I like that fight. Okay. I think a Zhang fight right now, you beat Zhang, it's a good win. Don't get me wrong at all. It's a good win. Where do you go after that? You can't then go back down to Justice Hooney for me. Once you beat Zhang, then you're at Zhang. You're at the Bakolis. You're at the Hergoviches. You're there. You can't go. For me, at 19, 20 years old now, learn your craft. Perfect the stuff that you need to perfect.
I'm going to say
you don't
learn your craft and stay out of Fabio Wardley's way, Moses Atoma.
Yeah, I can't. The gym mates. They're actually. They're not gym mates, are they?
They've sparred and things before, haven't they? Anyway, but
they've just sparred. Franklin, Vianello, and who? Pettigrew.
Pettigrew. That was Harry Potter, wasn't
it? Yeah, I'm not sure who the last one is, but I do know Franklin. Jermaine Franklin, yeah, right. You've got right. I tell you what, you might as well be part of the show because Franklin, I like that one as well. Franklin's been inactive, but it's a name. It's a name that it's not massive. He's lost to Dillian White, lost to AJ. He's a good fighter. He is a good fighter.
Yeah.
So Franklin, like you said, it's high risk, low reward for Franklin. Will Franklin take that? I think Franklin he still has plenty to give. I don't think he needs to, but then again, he hasn't got to protect. He can go in there and win against Atoma. You say that it's a high risk, low reward because for me, how people like myself and Rico are touting Atoma. If you beat Atoma, you now have a name. Your name will buzz if you beat Atoma. What's this?
Shout out to Declan Copley who's listening in. He can't quite comment. Us Yorkshire lads, we're not too brilliant on tech stuff.
Pick up Deck Copley. I remember Deck from years ago. I know Deck. Yeah. I remember Deck from time ago. Right. Who else we got on the list? Asia.
Right. So next up, you had down Janae Boston.
Janae Boston. Yeah. What do you make of him? Because his name is buzzing right now. His name seems to be everywhere at the moment with how highly people are rating him.
I like him. He's got a lot of flair. He's got a lot of talent. He's got a big following, like you've just said. I think the star boy. What he needs, I don't know whether it's signed up next to do it again. I'm not sure, but he came up with that split draw with Fawaz. Is that right, Bilal?
Yeah.
They need to get that sorted out first and foremost. Get that bout sorted, get a winner, and then move on from there. I don't think it was either of them's best performance, to be honest, because Bilal was on a bit of a streak going into it, wasn't it? I think he'd only beat it once. So yeah, let's get that fight rerun, go again, and then we can. I think then we'll know a bit more about each other, a bit more what's in the tank, what fight they've got in them.
Yeah, I think this is why I like the British scene so much. Is because you can't just go and walk through the British scene and expect to get to world level without a test. This is what I love about boxing when it comes to the British side of it, is that the Americans, they go, oh, who's this person? Once the British fighters get to world level, they still don't know them. They underestimate them, like, who's that? Who's he for? But they haven't realised that these kids have been in there and mixed it with the best of Britain and been in those tough fights, been in areas that they don't want to be in, being cut, being hurt, have to come back, there's so much going on that in your career at the young stage, when you're at British level, it's perfect for these guys to move on and when they get to world level. And also with the talent we have in British boxing, I feel like the world level has taken it away a bit the last year and a half. It's taken away from the British scene, which is a shame, which is really a shame. And I think hopefully this year, Eddie and Frank start to concentrate on the British scene a lot more. Give us some big nights in the UK. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. British, like we've said this on a previous show, if Americans don't have our system, then you related that to the TKO league that's coming out.
TKO, yeah.
Our league from the very bottom, our system from the very bottom, your central areas, your northern titles, building up to your English title. I mean, some people have an amazing career just chasing an English title, never mind the British.
Yeah.
It's such a prestigious belt to still win. And we're always fortunate enough that you don't even need to leave our country. We have that many good bouts just at domestic level in every single weight category. And like you say, it would be nice for a big push on it this time round. Would be nice to see a lot more again. Do you know, it'd be nice to see stuff like prize fighter coming back. You know, not necessarily that, but, you know, just keeping it all domestic, keeping it people maybe that have had the shot and missed it, or fighters that have just been nearly men. You know, we do need to bring back a lot more for domestic boxing.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Like I said to you last week or week before, I think that's what Turkey's seen and Dana's seen over the years, that when you start something from, say, you've got Olympians coming through or guys who are turning pro who are young coming through, they're your next crop of fighters. The likes of these guys we've just mentioned, the Atomas, Junaid Boston, Jimmy Sains, who we're going to mention in a minute. Those guys are the guys that in 5, 6, 7 years' time, we're hoping is going to be at world level. And I think that's what TKO is looking at. They're not looking at the immediate future, should I say, the next 1, 2, 3 years. They aren't looking at that. They're not fussed about that. The guys who are in place, they're never going to outsell or outperform them in viewership or anything in the next 3 years. It's not going to happen. You're not going to get stars like that. But in the next 5 to 6 years, when the guys who are selling now start to retire, start to regress, and the guys in that TKO league, I think that's what they're trying to do. Whether it'll work or not, I don't know. But this is what happens in the British scene. You've got your guys up there like your AJs, Furies, Whites and whatnot. They're leaving the game. And the likes of Fabio Wardley's coming up now. He's coming up next. You've got Bakole, obviously. I know he's Congolese, but resides in the UK. You've got all these fighters coming up behind them, and that's been a few years in the making. Wardley's been what? How many years in the making has Wardley been to get to that level?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's the great part of British boxing is you get to see the best now, but you get to watch the come up of who's going to be next.
Yeah, the excitement of Wardley's career has been fantastic. I mean, I remember was it Simon Vallely a few years ago, maybe, but that was a great fight, great build up again, all domestic. All the excitement with the Fraser Clark 1 fight, that was brilliant. Mr. Neutral's just put like and subscribe, folks. You're right there.
Yes, please.
To carry that fight, obviously that devastating knockout of Fraser Clark. I hope to see Fraser Clark again. I really do.
I'm looking. Well, he had an interview not so long ago, Fraser. Before we go into Fraser Clark, there's a few comments.
Get him on.
Saying Boston got exposed by Fawaz. But this is what's supposed to happen at British level. You can't go through British level fighting nobodies and expect to just blow through them.
No.
I think it was a tough fight, a very tough fight for him. You're right. Junaid was lucky last time out. William Crawler is more dangerous than him. Yeah, William Crawler is another one.
William Crawler's dangerous, very, very dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. He's another one that's a prospect who is touted to do a lot. Obviously, he has the name, but the performances has come as far. He's got to step up now. I think if he stops this guy, I don't know how Quickhead is going to start pushing him, because this is a decent step up, a guy who hasn't been stopped before. What else was I said? I need to minimize my screen. Sorry.
He's not someone to rush to world level. Has to develop like all the other prospects. Are we still on about Boston now?
Yeah, I think it's talking about Boston. Yeah, I agree. I think the development of these fighters is what allows them, when they get to world level, they not only are they ready for world level, but they have a British fan base. They have a fan base where you have done so much in this scene that every fighter you fought and you've performed against, you've took some of their fans, and everybody is now starting to get on the bandwagon. And when you get to world level, you have that following. There isn't that, the American thing of, oh well, he doesn't sell, or who knows him, or you know what I mean. They like to use those phrases a lot, just to avoid fights, which I find really strange.
Mr. Neutral's last comment there is Wardley is Pulev's next target, surely to God. That regular chance will come soon enough. What do we say to that?
Yeah,
I think Wardley smokes.
I think, yeah, I agree with that 100%. I think Wardley stops Pulev. I think Pulev is done. To be honest with you, he's had his time in the game. He's been a great heavyweight, to be honest with you, because he's been in there with people. You know what I mean? The guy's been in there with Klitschko, been in there with Chisora, been in there with AJ, been in there. Did he fight White? Did he fight Dylan White? I remember if he fought him, but he's been about Pulev, and I think. Go on.
He beat Fury, didn't he?
He beat Huey Fury, yeah.
What was that, Mr. Huey Fury? I've had a run-in with Huey Fury, actually.
Huey Fury, the British Muhammad Ali.
I've had a run-in with Huey Fury outside Manchester Arena years ago.
Go on, tell us the story.
Yeah, I just thought he was being a dick, to be fair, and I think I called him out on it. And then when I got closer, I was like, and I'm not small, do you know what I mean? I'm like 6'3", and
He'd have only tried to jab you and move around the ring all night anyway.
Exclusive, he tried to keep, but we'll talk about that another time.
Mr. Neutral said, agree. Eric Wardley is too much. The regular belt will get him big fights. Yeah. I think a Wardley Pulev fight. I think that's what Wardley's going for next, to be quite honest with you. I think that's a good fight. We might as well stay on British contenders, to be honest with you. Now we're on Wardley. We've just spoke about Wardley. We've also got Anna Azim, talking contenders. What do you make of Azim?
Truthfully, mate, I think he's overrated, and I'm yet to see. I don't know. I'm not excited with him. I'm not excited with him, and that's not to say he's not a fantastic fighter. What do you think?
The thing with Azim is he's had all the backing from the day one from Sky. He has been, from the moment he turned pro, Sky had him as he's the face of Sky Boxing, really. I think he was on the adverts and stuff like that. So at this point in his career, you expect more. I believe if Adam was promoted by Eddie, I think he'd already have fought at world level. I think because Ben Shalom and Boxer has spoon fed him so far. They've basically just rolled him out. It's like, yeah, you can have him. What about this guy? No, when we're ready, you can have him. And they're underwhelming.
It's been held back all the time. Mr. Go back, Ra, just saying Azim.
He's
division.
Yeah.
They're running to death about his two last performances. He's beaten an outer day O'Hara Davis. 2 tanks is well past. He didn't have the legs to carry.
Well, he showed that against. I'm sorry to cut you off. He showed that against Barroso. Well, he got stopped in a round.
Exactly. And then Lipinets. Really, we're getting excited about him beating Lipinets. I mean, it took him 9 rounds.
Yeah, the Lipinets one. I said when I was watching it, I said like this. When you stopped him, I was asking for you to do that 4 rounds ago. After 3 rounds, you could see that you was stronger than him on the inside, you was quicker than him on the inside, and you could hurt him. Why are you still moving? What are you still moving for? He was doing nothing. I was calling for him to hold his feet and let his punches go on the inside. And when he finally did it, fair enough, he got the stoppage. But for me, it was 3 or 4 rounds too late. You want to make a statement. You want to be there. And obviously, I'm going to mention another name that we're going to come up to. You want to be saying that your levels above Dalton Smith. You're this, you're that. Dalton could, bro. You need to be making statements against people like that.
You do, yeah, you do.
Fighters like that, you need to be making statements.
Who have we got there? Mr. Neutral,
Rico, 1 second. Mr. Neutral said,
I agree there. Not everyone can stop Lipinets, but how Azim was taking control of it, I felt like they were geared to go, and he wasn't taking them. Why they're not taking him? Is he scared for it? Is he worried about what's going to come back, or is there just not that much there? I think Azim gets found out when he gets stepped up, and I mean found out.
Yeah, I agree. No, Rico. Right, there's no Rico. You stay out of this. It's the auctions night. Yeah, right. You tell him. Yeah, Rico. Yeah. Adam Azim's from Slough, so that's why. I forgot. He's from where Rico's from. Tell him to fight Dalton Smith, who's from Yorkshire. That's all I want you to do.
I tell you what, Dalton gives him a right hiding, Rico. You play with feathers, you get your ass tickled, son. Dalton will smash it.
That is by far the best line from Boxing Paddy. I'm not even going to lie. Dalton Smith. We'll go to Dalton next.
Dalton's the man.
Dalton, for me, he needs to get himself into that mix at 140 now. I think fights like the likes of Jack Catterall needs to be maybe not his next fight, but the fight after that. I think a Jack Catterall fight is perfect timing for him. Jack might have had a fight by then, but where Jack is, he needs to take risks. He's now what, 31, 32, Jack?
Is that
what you say?
Is that past it, 32?
No.
I'm fast approaching.
Right. I'm 34, so you're good. No, what I'm saying is,
I know what you're saying.
At world level, you've only got a certain amount of time, and you're in that 140 division where even in Britain you've got the likes of Azim and you've got Dalton. Sorry. So for me, Jack needs to get a move on if he wants that world title.
I don't know how old it was. You'll probably know more than me because, as you know, Twitter or X is not my game. But that he was offering to fight for Cambosis. That Catterall wants that fight.
Catterall wants that fight.
Yeah, that's what I saw. They're tweeting each other.
Right. Well, you know more about it than I do.
Probably the only time on X and I found out an exclusive or something.
You know what? I prefer that fight than the Cambosis versus versus Hitchens or Richardson Hitchens. I prefer that because Cambosis shouldn't be anywhere near a world title. I think he has the name. He has the right name to fight. I think Jack coming off a loss, beating a Cambosis, who is going to be his second fight at the weight. Yeah, I think that fight could do well. I think that'd sell well in England. Yeah, I think that'd sell well at Manchester. I think that makes more sense to me. That fight makes more sense to me than Cambosis versus Hitchens.
Next comment down is I've got Rafferty versus Smith will be the next fight at super lightweight.
Rafferty versus this chat is going too quick. It's just sounding past me. Mr. Neutral says Rafferty versus Smith would be the next fight at super lightweight for me. Yeah, I think Smith has one more fight at this sort of level. and then he moves to the world level. I think he needs to, after this fight, he needs to step up to that world level. I know he beat was it Jose Zabeda? Is it Jose Zabeda? He beat.
I think yeah.
But yeah, once he has this fight, I'd like to see him move on to world level. A Jack Catchall fight, I'd like that fight. Even the Puello fight. Puello's got the world title. Now, is Puello got the world title now? The WBC. Puello has the WBC title, so he could go for that, enforce a mandatory. Is he mandatory position or is it number one or something? I know he's high up in the rankings. He could force that. Let me just go into the chat. Ra says now Dalton. Oh, Dalton is there. There we go. He answered my question. Now Dalton is the WBC mandatory. They should push that ASAP. I agree with you on that, Ra.
Absolutely,
100%.
Next comment. Shout out to Turkey, the greatest ever in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Shout out to Turkey. If you're listening to this, Your Excellency, me and Ez, we just want a little flight over,
Yeah, just
take us.
We will sit in the gods. I don't mind. Just flight over, hotel. We're all right. We're good.
We're good. We're not like these southerners, Turkey. We're not like these southerners. Kings of beer.
No, you don't. Food. We won't even eat. We don't even need to eat. We'll just be there.
No.
Right, there's problem is player with the WBC with the PBC. Sorry, might as well be the same thing. Player with the PBC and the WBC really indulged them with stalling well. But yeah, right, we're on the same mindset tonight.
Raz on one today.
He is. But I disagree with Eddie making his fighters take hard fights when they already had and have a mandatory position.
I don't disagree with that. You want to push your fighters. Sometimes mandatory fights are shite. You do want to push and go for the best.
Yeah, the thing is with mandatories, we look at Dillian White is the case you can just look at for this one. If the champion is not fighting you, the sanctioning body isn't doing anything to force him to fight you, you need to move on with your career. Because waiting around because for me, belts matter in boxing for me. You know who the champions are, you know who the best fighters are in the division. I'd like more unification, I'd like more undisputed. But for a lot of fans, it's as and when it suits them when belts matter. And it's kind of annoying because belts matter the belts didn't matter when Devin wanted to fight Loma, and that it's like, oh well, he's an email champion. The franchise title or franchise designation meant more to boxing fans than an actual world title. Yeah. Dillian White stood there, waited for a world title, never received a world title. This guy, till this day, has he had a world? Oh yeah, he has against Fury. He had a title shot against Fury. Sorry.
Yeah.
But you saw how long it took to get that title. Fury had to beat Wilder in order for you to get that title. And you
sorry to cut you. He waited that wins Dillian that he went stale.
Yeah.
That's the whole end of it. He missed his chance. Well, what's Rico saying? Yorkshire people are in -1 speed, hence the accent.
Bro, you think Yorkshire accent and Birmingham accent sound the same. So you need to, I don't know what you're doing with yourself. How you think Birmingham and Yorkshire is anything close is mad to me.
Get your act together.
More likely we get Rafferty versus O'Leary for the triple lock.
Rico, his centers. Go down, Ez.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I see it. I'm just going through these first. If it was anybody else, it'd be instant. But I'm waiting. Ra has been involved in this show. Ra was the first in the comments. He was the first. Yeah. He was here before we was. Ra was here before we was. Ra's comments get priority today. If they do a 5v5, then Smith v O'Leary is the one.
It's a great fight, that, right?
Yeah.
Great fight.
Ra also says, man, you guys need to get on London speed. Things move too slow. No, we don't. Hell no.
I went down
No, we're good.
to Jonas and Price. I got a flat tyre. I broke down. I got parking tickets. I got them eco fines where you go in them eco lanes. Now we go then. I'm never going down again. Never.
Yeah. CJ, see, in one trip to London, CJ, I'm never going to see London again.
One trip to London, my life, my inheritance and everything's gone down drain just to pay for it.
Right, Rico with the £2 super chat. Thank you again. Me and CJ wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, to be honest with you. So thank you. We appreciate it. You don't deserve a flight over.
I'll wait for EasyJet to do a flight to Saudi Arabia.
Ra also says, oh God, what's the point in spending your money on sanctioning fees if they don't get you the title shot? I agree. I think the sanctioning fees, I don't know how they can change it, because because every time you have a position, you're defending that position, I'm guessing. Every time you fight, you're defending that position. So that's why you're paying your sanctioning fees. But for a mandatory, if you're a mandatory challenger, I don't think you should pay sanctioning fees until you get your title shot. If you're being told you're not having your shot yet, you've got to take another fight before you have your shot. Whilst you are mandatory, they're not calling for your mandatory. Every fight you have, the WBC or whoever sanctioning body shouldn't receive any money from you until you gain your shot, because you did what you were supposed to do. You got to the number one position, mandatory position. Your shot should be next. And whilst I'm not having my shot, I shouldn't be paying you, because I should be. The reason I've been paying you is to move up in the ranks, and I've moved up in the ranks.
Are you avoiding tax by any chance? Are you avoiding tax? I shouldn't be paying you. Where is all my money going?
You've got to question these things. No, but the sanctioning bodies, they have one job. They literally have a job to stick to the mandatory, stick to scheduling purse bids, and make your champion fight the mandatory challenger, because them guys are paying you to keep fighting in your rankings, to move up in your rankings. When you get to number one, once you're at number one, until you get a title shot, you shouldn't pay any sanctioning fees whilst you're fighting, because what's the point in being a mandatory challenger and you get to where you're supposed to get to fight for that belt, but
I agree.
You're doing what you was doing 3-4 fights ago. You're still fighting for your position. I don't get it. Rico's at you tonight. CJ went to London, lived life in almost turned to dust.
Too fast for me, mate. Too fast for me down there. And I tell you what, shit. Shut your head up, my boy. Hey, Rico, you don't want that smoke with my mum,
mate. Ra says, all that breeding up ain't good for you. Bro, how is this show turned into this? You're like just jealous of Yorkshire. I know you are.
Damn, your mum is a Mother's Day gift by calling out Rico. Right, let me tell you now, I've never been one to back down from a challenge, but if my mum offers you on cobbles, mate, no.
Yeah. Down Selby Alley.
Don't have it.
Right.
If I could name a few, what about Boatsi? Still in the running?
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Before the Callum Smith fight, we both said it was a 50-50 fight.
Absolutely.
If anybody was writing Callum Smith off, they was foolish. I gave Joshua Buatsi the benefit of the doubt. I thought he'd pull it off. But in the fight, I felt like he had every opportunity to pull it off. I just think that he didn't really pull the trigger and his urgency wasn't there for me. But to write him out of that division and in the mix, I wouldn't do that. Definitely would not do that. I think him versus Yard is still a fight I want to see. I wouldn't mind seeing, not straight away, but I wouldn't mind seeing a Callum Smith rematch. Maybe after one fight. There's enough fights out there for Buatsi, in my opinion. Just want to touch on the women for a second. Women boxing, because we've got Sandy Ryan fighting this weekend, rematch versus Michaela Mayer. Sandy coming up short the first time round in America. Did you watch that fight?
I did, mate. Yeah, and then obviously before all that was all that crazy pain scandal in an elevator and shit like that. Mate. That was all a bit mad.
1 second.
Sandy's...
We'll just say shout out Rico said it's not your fault. DJ is here.
Hey Rico, my mum's like Southerners. Stay off that train, brother.
No, sorry. I had to interrupt you for that one. No, carry on.
Yeah, Sandy Ryan still got so much to offer. I don't think you can go off that performance too much. I mean, she didn't perform against Mayer, but there was something going on in the build-up on there. I'm not quite sure. I've read bits and bats about it. Sandy not comfortable in the public eye. No, I can see.
She's not a talker at all. Sandy isn't a talker. No. You can tell that she doesn't like that that stuff, which you mean some fighters don't. They don't. I think
Daniel Dubois is like talking to.
Yeah, exactly. So Sandy, yeah, she looks uncomfortable whenever she's in front of the camera and having to do answer questions. That she looks uncomfortable, but she's a damn good fighter, and I hope she pulls it off. I rate Michaela Mayer. I do rate Michaela Mayer. I think she's a very good boxer. I think it'll be a close fight again. I do. I don't know. I don't know if I can see Sandy pulling this one off.
Do you think Mayer would want to fight Jonas again? Do you think Jonas would consider that fight again?
Mayer 100% would fight Jonas again. I think it won't happen in Liverpool. I can tell you that for free.
Yeah.
But Jonas, I don't know. There's two ways to look at it. Jonas, one more payday before she retires, and says, but the other way is, I've already beat her. They gave me the decision. Why am I going to go out there, go to America or whatever, go wherever, and not win? You know what I mean? I think Michaela Mayer in the second fight would beat Tasha. I like Tasha. I'm a massive Tasha fan, but we're talking about boxing, and I think Michaela would beat Tasha. I thought she won the first fight, to be quite honest with you. So I think Mayer would beat her. So I don't know whether they would go ahead with that, and everything going on in that camp with Joe Gallagher and stuff like that. I think the stars seems to align for Tasha to just call it a day now. Really,
you'd hope so, mate. I know we touched on it. I'd come back from glorious London. She just looked old. It was like she'd aged overnight. I don't know whether Price was being maybe too respectful. I think you actually said that as. I think she could have stopped Tasha. I think Tasha's going to want to go out in Liverpool. You know, a big show. I just hope they get her the right fight, but at the same time, you don't want it to be a nobody. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? You don't want it to fight.
I agree with you on that. You don't want it to be a nobody, but you want it to be a name. Hopefully, they can get someone for her if she is going to have that last dance, let's say. Ra says Price versus Ryan would be a war. It certainly would be a war. I'd love to see that. This is the thing with women's boxing. There's so many win, lose or draw. There's so many matchups that you can do that no matter what, you're going to get an exciting fight. You know you're going to get an exciting fight. I want to also touch on what are the other female fighter I've got? Well, we're going to we've got Terry Harper. We can't go anywhere without speaking about Terry Harper, obviously. We've got. We're looking at the. We've only got how many champions? British world champions right now. I think we've got maybe 5 or 6. We've got Daniel Dubois, Nick Ball, Terry Harper, Caroline Dubois, Katie Taylor, and Lauren Price. If I've missed anyone, I'm sure Ra will.
I'll tell you another fight I'm looking forward to, Ez, if I can jump in.
Yeah.
Tycee Gallagher versus Ebony Jones is an absolute brilliant fight. I think that's for British Commonwealth and a WB or something like that. Now, I have been at Migna Rotherham show and got to see Ebony Jones live, got to be in the corner of her opponent, a journeywoman. Ebony's a smooth mover, very good. And then I've got to see Tycee Gallagher spar a few times at Mark Jim and Steffi's. Wow, very talented. So I'm really excited for that fight. That's a massive fight for British women's domestic boxing.
Yeah, I think the fight at British level, the fighters seem to be who are coming through from amateurs. The younger fighters coming through seem to be they've just leveled up. Obviously, women's boxing is fairly new in the mainstream. We're what 5-6 years in, where it's big. It's still growing, and these fighters coming through, like you've just said, the talent level is so high now. You're looking at it and you're thinking, wow. We was having a debate the other day on a space about 3-minute rounds and whether the women should do 3-minute rounds instead of the 2-minute rounds, and I advocate for 3-minute rounds. I don't see there's any reason why they shouldn't do 3-minute rounds. I think the cop out of it'll be less action and it's action packed. For you've got to look at it a fighter's point of view. These ladies can't get going. The moment they get going, the clapper's going and the round's over. It's very hard for them to show their true talent and show what they can do inside 2-minute rounds. It feels like at first when it was first when women's boxing first came out and it was massive, Katie Taylor and stuff, the 2 minutes made sense because all these ladies wasn't at the same level, skill level wise. You had a lot of them who wasn't at certain level. You had very few that was at world level. Now we've got to the point where these ladies are very good. These matchups are 50-50. They should be allowed the time in the round to show their skill, to show how good they are. There's no reason these ladies shouldn't be going 3 minutes. I was looking. Go on. Oh, CJ's just dropped off. He'll be back, but I don't know where he's gone. He's left me in the lurch. But like I was saying, we've only got a few minutes left anyway. Like I was saying, I think the 3-minute rounds. Here he is. He's back. He's back.
Sorry, pal. I'm about to tell you a story then as well.
Go on, finish what you were saying. Or start what you were saying.
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to be in camp with Nina Manka. Rara will probably be able to pull me on this if I'm wrong. She just won a world title. She beat Daniela Bermudez. I think it was the first 12 3-minute rounds women's bout for a world title. That's what she was saying to me. Or first in Europe, maybe. I'm not sure. But the fitness that she showed in that camp, nothing. or how am I supposed to say it? Exact level as every other male in our gym that was boxing 12 rounds. Do you know what I mean?
And that's the thing. That was one of the debates me and Mr. Neutral was having, and he was saying that no, the 2 minutes you expecting, will these ladies be able to withstand the extra minutes or whatever, as well as the skill set? And I'm like, they are skillful anyway. At the end of fights, every fighter in every fight, their form changes because of fatigue. It always happens. It happens anyway. It's going to happen. I think from the fighter's point of view, in 50-50 fights, especially world title fights, I think the 3 minutes, at least put the 3 minutes in world title fights, if that's what we're going to do. But there should be implementing 3-minute rounds in women's boxing, just to allow these ladies to show the true skill set and show the ring, because you've got, like I said to, like I said to Mr. Neutral the other day, you can look at these fights. The first minute, one fighter does really well. The second minute, the other fighter comes on strong. Who are you giving that round to? You've not got enough time to fully judge that round.
Yeah. I think it will change in the future, in the near future. I think most women now are wanting it and calling for it. I think a lot of originally, like you'd said, when Katie Taylor stormed onto our screens and it was like her fast pace. I think it was the excitement that kept it for 2 minutes as well at times. You know, like on Matchroom and things, it was the fast pace. It was the punches after punches after punches. It was keeping that rhythm flowing. Now, like I say, I've been fortunate enough to be in that camp. There's no difference. I mean, I saw her spar 12 rounds. I saw her come in the day after and spar 12 rounds. Like it was nothing. The fitness is second to none. If these women want to do it, don't stop them. Let them do it. I mean, I think Serrano's been calling out.
That is exactly my point on it. Is if this should be put out to the female fighters. These should be put out to the boxers and allow them to choose what happens, rather than
100%.
the WBC saying, "Oh well, it's shown that the female brain is this." And I'm looking at UFC and I'm seeing the women are fighting 3 rounds 5 minutes, 5 rounds 5 minutes. Like nothing's different. Why is in boxing you want to protect somebody that's not asking to be protected in this moment? There's no reason for protection for an extra minute. These were, like you said, these women are training 12 rounds. They're training you know what I mean? It's not like they're training for this and then you're putting them in a ring and they're not actually, they can't do it. They are actually training the 12 rounds. They're training for more minutes than they're actually fighting. So there's no reason to stop it, in my opinion. We've only got a few minutes left. So before we go, it would be that seeing as we're talking about British boxing, we'll leave it at this. We'll go to Daniel Dubois. It looks like he's going to be ordered to fight Derek Chisora for the IBF world title. It looks like it will be Chisora's last fight, by all accounts, number 50. Daniel Dubois coming off an illness. I don't know. I've said that we spoke about this before, and you know my thoughts on it. If it was anybody else that wasn't named Derek Chisora in the position they are, they don't deserve to be anywhere near a world title. But what Derek Chisora has been, the servant he's been to British boxing, selling out arenas after arenas. This guy has gone the full circle to being hated, to being loved. He has had an absolute amazing career, ups, downs, everything. He hasn't captured a world title, and for that to happen on his last fight, that's just a Rocky movie. And I don't think Daniel's that far, like that amazing. There's still questions with Daniel for me. There's still questions there. And kind of veteran like Chisora navigating his way around Dubois, I don't think he can. But I hope he gets the chance to.
I I think Daniel will be fully overlooking Chisora. And I would be if I was in. But yeah, like you say, I think you've nailed it there. I don't think Daniel is that far ahead. I think we've seen Daniel being weak at times. We've seen him take punches and look a bit wobbly at times. And then we've also seen him steamroll AJ out of there with a bang. So he is Daniel Dubois is literally the definition of heavyweight boxing. In one punch can change a fight. I don't think he's overly got a great chin himself, so he doesn't want to trade. Chisora's going to sit on his chest, absolutely sit on his chest and put it on him. He's going to leave nothing in there. What are the chances of Derek coming away from that fight with the win? I actually think quite high, mate. I would definitely put in a flutter.
Really?
Absolutely.
Yes, definitely, but putting something on it because I just think the story. I think that for me is a movie, and there's certain people that deserve it through the ups and the downs, and it's not easy being a fighter. So when you lose, the guy's got what 12, 13 losses. Normally, people throw you away. In order not to be thrown away after that many losses, you have to be a character. You have to have done something. You know what I mean? You have to really involve yourself within the fans of boxing to be allowed these opportunities to still keep fighting, still selling out arenas. People still want to see him fight. So I hope it could happen for him. I know Mr. Neutral says it's a terrible mandatory by the IBF. Listen, I said this. Any name barring Derek Chisora, I agree with you. If it wasn't Derek Chisora, I'd agree with you. But I think Derek deserves it. I think for your 50th fight, if you are to lose, Derek's always said, I would rather get knocked out than lose a points decision. So somebody's going to sleep.
Yeah.
Put it that way. Somebody is going to sleep.
While you're commenting on Mr. Neutral, it looks like Ra and my mum are talking about Yorkshire tea. I don't know where that's I'm sorry our boxing chat's boring, Ra, and you have to talk about
Ra's been there the whole time. We talk about Chisora and now you decide to talk about tea. That's disgusting, Ra. That's out of order. Say it again.
Yorkshire tea is banging.
Yeah, there's no better.
Absolutely.
There's no better tea than Yorkshire tea.
I'll just flag up London once more. When I was down there the next day, coming down from my room, and they offered me, would you like a cup of tea, sir? Like, oh yeah, I'll have one of them. Earl Grey, you dirty dick. Awful.
Oh, it's safe to say CJ is never touching London again.
Never. Not unless it's an air.
You know what? On that note, everyone, we really appreciate you joining the chat. Mr. Neutral, Ra, Rico, Mandy, thank you. We appreciate it. WCS as well. No, it's good. We're enjoying this. It's week after week. It's getting a little bit easier every week. I find it a little bit easier every week anyway. But
yeah,
that's it from.
I'll admit, I pressed the wrong button on the keyboard and shut myself off. So I'm still learning.
I said it as well. As soon as you do it, I was like, "Yep." Let's see, just pressed something wrong. Thank you, everyone. Go on, CJ. I've said bye.
No, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Your comments make it so much easier, and we have a good laugh with it. So yeah, 12 episodes in, proper rocking and rolling now. So thank you, guys.
Yeah, you see, CJ's got the number right. I've put 11 in the thing. Well, my numbers. We've done 2 episodes 11s. Never mind.
It's only a little diary thing.
At least you're prepared. Mine's all on my laptop, but I dare touch anything whilst I'm on this.
Yeah, you end up like
yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week, same time, and we'll let everybody know. Peace.
God bless you guys.
You are now listening to Banter and Boxing.